Well, we heard you. All of you who watched and listened and responded to a recent show on OSHA. We've got more for you. And that just makes me so excited because sometimes we do these shows and I sit here and I think, am I going to hear anything this week? Am I going to see any kind of response coming through from individuals letting me know what they thought of that show? And my executive director here at ICRC-TV, executive producer, came around the corner and said, wow, what was going on? People are all over that OSHA podcast you did. And I thought, oh my gosh, I specifically told you guys, I'm not an OSHA person. But what you're telling me is that you'd like a little bit more information on that side. So thank you for that response. So because of that, and with what great timing, the Department of Labor just announced that OSHA has finalized a revision to the Personal Protection Equipment Standard. Now, for construction, the final rule explicitly requires the equipment, PPE, personal protection equipment, to properly fit. Now, I know what you're all thinking. Yeah, it should fit. Well, I thought this would be a good topic because, yes, I have construction companies as clients, but I also have a number of companies outside of the construction industry, but they also use PPE. And Tom Irwin is the one who wrote this. Actually wrote a blog on the OSHA website about the final regulation that just came out yesterday. But what tickles me is they kind of forget that maybe if it doesn't fit for one industry, it probably isn't fitting over on about 100 other industries that use PPE. So this show is a reminder to all of you, whether you're in construction or not. Are you using personal protection equipment anywhere in your operations? And if so, when was the last time you evaluated that PPE to make sure that it's properly fitting? And some of the examples that Tim used was gloves. If someone's not wearing a pair of gloves that properly fit, have you ever tried that? Have you ever tried to wear a pair of gloves that are so big that they're sliding off your hand as you're trying to grip something? Or worse yet, the fingers are so big that you don't even know that you've got something in your hand. And what are we trying to say? If it's not properly fitting, it's not safe. Actually, in his blog, he states that in a survey, 41% of women said that the PPE they were offered doesn't fit. Now, again, this was focused on the construction industry, but you have to have an idea that if you've got women or even just the different build of human beings, one does not fit all. And when we, again, talk about safety, what are we talking about? How about helmets? How many of you have some sort of a job where they need a hard hat? And again, it's not all construction. You do have industries where a hard hat is still required. What about respirators? We've briefly talked about respirators in the past, but when was the last time you had them fitted? And if you're adding new hires, you need to have the new hires fitted. Please do not give them a respirator that someone else has used and think that it's going to be a good fit, because we don't know unless we've had someone properly come in and verify that. And I know it sounds crazy, but I'm still going into environments where the gentleman who's supposed to be wearing the respirator is starting to grow his facial hair back. And it's like, no. And you know that's not appropriate. And he just grins at me and says, well, I thought I'd try it as long as I could get away with it. Well, you're not getting away with it. I guess you're not going to be able to work with us until you get the hair removed. off your face. How about harnesses? How many of you have warehouses, logistics programs? You have lifts, and with those lifts come harnesses. Does the harness adjust well? Is the harness, does it completely go over the individual if they're a bit stockier? You can't expect a female who weighs 120 pounds to wear the same harness with a gentleman who weighs 260 pounds if it's not going to adjust well. You just please don't expect that to happen. But this is what they're trying to get at with this final reg. Safety glasses are, I hate to say it, but one size fits all. I've never really seen, even when we're with our shooting sports, I don't get a lot of choices on my protective eyes, but you got to make sure that they're not sliding all over their face. You've got to make sure that they aren't cracked or that all the little upper guards and stuff have not been removed. Personal protection equipment is vital if you want to have a safe and secure workplace. And OSHA, remember, OSHA is not just for manufacturers. It's for everywhere. So if you are one of those companies that has to have personal protection equipment, whether it's for the ears, the eyes, the hands, whatever it is, please make sure that you're going out and making a good fit with the equipment and the employee. And if not, you're making the investment to assure that it is. My name's Pandy. And yes, you are now going to be hearing more about OSHA because that's what you asked for. And I'm thrilled you did because that's what we're here to do at the Human Resource.